Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a 40s style makeup look. Hair stuck to my lip. So I just moved house and my parents gave me a whole ton of stuff that I had in boxes from ages ago, and I actually found this picture of my grandmother. Now my grandmother, this is Doris, was born in 1916, and so she lived through, you know, the 30s, the 40s, the Second World War. This, I think is early 40s or at that very maybe late 30s. And looking at her, obviously it's in black and white, but you can see that she's probably got that kind of classic dark red lip from the time, the neutral eye, and this actually reminds me quite a lot of Peggy Carter from the first Captain America and the makeup that she wears, that war era early 40s makeup. And I thought, why not do a makeup tutorial inspired by my grandmother, a 40s makeup tutorial. So that is what we have today. This is the look. Let's get started. We're starting with the base already on. I've got my foundation, my concealer, my powder, everything is set down. So we will go from here. Now, usually I wouldn't do my brows first, but before I do anything else, I want to add some structure to the face. So I'm going to go in with this drawing eyebrow pencil from Etude House. This is in the shade Black Brown. We're going to keep the brow curved in a smooth arch. Extend the tail a tiny bit. Now, eyebrows were quite well defined in this era, thicker than they had been in earlier decades. So you see someone like the 30s movie stars with like the sort of almost one hair thick eyebrow. Eyebrows have got a bit more natural, but they were still shaped and arched with a pencil. I'm going to use a palette I don't use very often. This is from Beauty Pie and it's the 10 Best Matte Eyeshadows. I'm going to start with a little flat brush and just shape out a little extension at the end of the eye with a grey. I'm going to stamp that in at the eye and just gently extend a tiny bit out, just to give myself a guide. I'm keeping it out in a more natural line rather than winging it up too far. I'm going to add a little bit of the black on top of that. There wasn't a big wing like we're talking about like 50s, 60s. There was just a slight extension at the end of the eye. From here, I'm going to take a soft, fluffy brush and go in with a tiny bit of the deepest brown shade here at the outer corner, just above where I've laid down this black. And I'm using gentle tapping motions so that I don't disperse the shadow too far and so that I don't disturb that line I've got along the lashes. Now, these eyeshadows are a little powdery and a little patchy, in my opinion. But you can work with them. Now that I've laid down some colour, I'm going to take a tapered brush and just blend this. I'm going to take a slightly lighter grey brown now, this one here next to the dark brown we just used. And with a finger, I'm going to smudge a little bit of this onto the lid. In the 40s, particularly during the war period and immediately after the war, there were shortages of all sorts of different luxuries, which included makeup. So people would make their own makeup at home, like by burning candles underneath plates and then like collecting the residue off the bottom of the plate, or by using like charcoal and all sorts of things like that. So eyeshadow was sort of blacks and browns and greys, and it was sort of more like one colour, gently smudged upwards rather than a defined crease. And then I'm going to stamp back over that black with my little straight brush here. Bringing it in a little further over the top of the pupil. I am going to go with the tiniest bit of eyeliner just to darken that up. This is from MacQueen and it is a waterproof gel liner. This I'm not going to extend into the wing. I'm just going to focus this where I still have lashes at the edge of the eye. And I'm going to tightline. To keep the lower lash line soft, I'm going to stick with eyeshadow down there rather than eyeliner. I'm going to take the grey shade that I started with and smudge along the lash line, but only to halfway. And that is all we are doing with the eyes. Very simple, very neutral, a little bit smoky. I am going to apply a small amount of bronzer. Not a lot, because the look of the era was natural, but they did like a little bit of a healthy glow. So I'm going to use this one from Beauty Pie. This is called Goldielux. Being super careful not to apply too much. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you know I love blush, but I'm trying to keep it true to the era, and that means using a little bit of a very neutral nude tone blush and not going too crazy. So I'm going to use this one from Lottie London, which is quite a muted nude tone. I'm going to be good and restrain myself. I'm going to add a little bit of contour. This is the Ink V shading in Almond Brown from Peripera. Again, we want to look natural and subtle, so I don't want to go crazy. Before I do the lip, I'm going to finish the eyes with a little brow gel and mascara. This is Glossier Boy Brow in Clear. I'm not going to make them super feathery. I'm going to keep them in that oval shape. Very neat. Fluffy brows were not a thing at the time, as much as I may like them. For mascara, I'm going to use the Maxi from Kiko on my upper lashes, followed by Heimish Smudge Stop on my upper and lower lashes. But I'm not going to go crazy. No crazy mascara. We want defined, but we don't want completely mad and clumpy. For the lower lashes, I'm going to be very careful just to smudge a little tiny bit of mascara on, because big lower lashes were obviously a 60s thing, but we're talking much more natural for the 40s. And a little of this on top of the upper lashes, just to make them waterproof, because Kiko Maxi Mod, as much as I love it for separating the lashes, is not waterproof, and I need waterproof. Of course, to finish, we need our red lip. Now, I'm going to go for that slightly deeper red, and I'm going to get that by using a redder lip liner and then a sort of dark nude lipstick. So I'm going to start with this liner from Kiko Milano, which is basically a plain old red. I'll swatch it on the back of my hand for you. There, it's a really lovely classic red liner. I've overlined my top lip just a little bit and tidied it up with a brush, just to get that slightly wider Cupid's bow that was popular in the era. For my lipstick, I have the shade Tickled from Clinique. This is the Even Better Pop Lip Colour and Foundation. And we have our 40s red lip. And that is everything for this look. I hope you enjoyed this 40s makeup style tutorial inspired by my grandmother and by Peggy Carter. I don't usually wear, I don't usually wear a look like this. Like it's very classic. I usually there with like all the eyeshadows and the colours and the pinks and the peaches and the sparkles, and the nude lip is more my kind of everyday comfort zone. But this is super classic. Like I would wear this out to a restaurant. Like, I mean, I can't go to a restaurant right now. When I can finally go to a restaurant, maybe this is the look I'll wear. I think my boyfriend would actually really like it. It's just very classic, very retro, something very Hollywood glamour about it. And yeah, it's there we have it. My grandmother inspired makeup tutorial. I hope you are happy and healthy and having a good week, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.